Hi guys, it's Mark from My Van Conversion, and you may be wondering why I'm wearing this t-shirt, and it's because we've completed the mountain bike camper. Let me go back and kind of reiterate what the spec was from the client. His primary concern was being able to store his mountain bike when he's on a trip. He doesn't leave it in the van overnight, but when he's going to and from his adventures, he wanted a way of getting the mountain bike in and out without taking off the wheels. Now, bearing in mind this is an e-bike, so it's heavy, it's slightly bigger. With wheels on, it's practically the length of the entire vehicle, and this is a long wheelbase Ford Transit Connect. Secondary was somewhere to sleep, so he's got this entire side, so that if he wants to, he can just throw a kit mat down and a sleeping bag and have a good night's sleep. We've also insulated, lined and carpeted the van itself to make it into a camper, but he specifically said he doesn't want cooking, he doesn't want water, he doesn't want any of the kind of camper van stuff, because the way he tends to work is he'll go off with other people who've got camper vans, and I think he'd just rather they do the cooking and the washing up. So he just wanted somewhere primarily to be able to sleep, when, especially if the weather's bad. He's not one for putting up tents, and it gives him the option to take the bike and go on weekend adventures. And obviously if he wants a camping stove, he can pack a camping stove and water and stuff. The other requirement is that this can also fit a second bike, and so we met that brief as well, and that it's also a mobile kind of mechanics studio, so he can do basic repairs on the bike, he can service the bike. But as you can see, the actual van itself, if I put my elbow there, is not that big. So this is really kind of, as from a camper perspective, this is a micro camper. We've had to really make the most of every single inch, but also it is a camper. We've got proper insulation, proper lining, lights. I'm not even going to bother showing you the outside of the van because it's just a Ford Transit Connect, and that's exactly what he wanted. We haven't cut into it, we haven't put any windows, nothing to make you realise that there's anything going on other than it's just another routine Ford Transit Connect van, and that's really, really important as well. So this is 100% stealth.
So there's this pull-out drawer which is locked in place, so we release the lock and then we pull it all the way out until it locks again in place, and this allows us to put the bike straight on without having to take the wheels off. The front wheel securely mounts into this metal bracket which is custom made, and then we bring up the chock for the pedal, and what this really does is allows us to let go of the bike, and it supports the bike, keeping it upright so that we can now slide the bike into the van. The chock isn't the main stabilisation when the vehicle's in moving. We have this lateral clamp which locks onto the rear of the seat post where it joins the bike. So let's look at how we take it off. So there's the lateral clamp, and we remove that fastener and pull it out of the way, and it secures with the help of this little hook. You can notice that there's rubber on the clamp as well which protects the bike. We can now pull the trolley out, and the chock for the pedal can be released once the bike's out, and we can support it. And then we simply lean the bike towards us, pull the front wheel out and walk out backwards. Easy peasy. And that's how easy it is to get the bike in and out. This fold-out table is heavily varnished with yacht varnish so that it's waterproof and will resist being damaged by tools and oil and things like that. And what I'm showing here is that there's hidden magnets inside this, so that when you're working on a bike and you put down a bolt or something, you're not going to lose it. And there's a handy compartment which is quite deep to store tools. The Joe Blow track pump is also secured, and again we're using magnets to hold it in place, and that cannot fall out now. You have to push it away, rotate it to bring it out. These Ford Transit Connect vans have this hatch which allows access to the front of the van, and at night time we put in a safety catch so that at night time the client can lock that up, allow ventilation but not have that fall down on him. Power is provided via this Anker power bank, and it's recharged by plugging it into the front socket. So we've got additional 12 volt sockets around, courtesy of the 12 volt power supply, And what we're looking at here is we have 5 anchor points around the van so that we can tie off equipment or a second bike. And when you're working at night or you've returned at night and it's a bit dark, then we have external floodlights to allow us to see what we're doing. So the big question really is, look, how secure is this when we're in transit? And we have 3 points of contact for the bike. We have the front wheel bracket, the pedal chock, and the lateral frame clamp. So when we're driving, the bike is quite securely held in place. Now we're going down quite a bumpy road here. There is a tiny bit of movement, but the lateral clamp has a little bit of slack in it, so it could actually be tightened up. And that lateral clamp is customizable, so you can alter the width and you can alter the distance from the side of the van to accommodate different bikes. So there is scope to tighten up a little bit more, but we're deliberately going down quite a bumpy road here, and you can see that there's minimal movement. So if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe and share this video with others. Thanks a lot.